conversation going, but on everything we've seen, especially when he stepped up in trip last time, it just looks as though he's the wonder horse we all think and hope he still will be in another 3 minutes' time.
Yeah, indeed. They're going 10.5 to 1 bar him. That brings in Adia, who's quite impressive when he won at Doncaster last time up. We're just about set. Can Baid do it? Let's find out with Simon Holt.
And they're off. Baid on the inside in the blue, white epaulet, striped cap, Jim Crowley. He's on the inside of the field. The others are just spurning the inside rail at the moment. Jim is inching a little bit in behind Baybridge, wants to get off the rail, doesn't want to get boxed in. It's Stone Age that leads from Royal Champion. Baybridge is third, then My Prospero. Out wide is Adair, wide of Baid, and then Dubai Honour from Helvic Dream and Max Sweeney at the back of the field as they cover the first quarter mile, running down into Swinley Bottom, swinging right-handed, and it's Stone Age and Ryan Moore that takes them along. From Royal Champion in second, Baybridge is third, My Prospero, Yellow Jacket in fourth place, then Adair in fifth. The long odds-on favourite Baid on the inside in sixth place, just ahead of last year's runner-up Dubai Honour, and then Helvic Dream, and at the back of the field is Max Sweeney. They're racing on towards the 5 furlong marker on the halfway stage. Stone Age by a length, 2 in second, Royal Champion. Baybridge is a close-up third, travelling well from My Prospero. Adair behind these, then Baid still being held on to, followed by Dubai Honour on the outside, Helvic Dream, and finally Max Sweeney. Very soon they'll be running into the home turn. They're inside the final half mile. So Stone Age leads the way by a length or so. Baybridge going up the inside and still travels notably well as Royal Champion comes under pressure. Adair rushing round runners and joining in. Then on the heels of them now and switching out wide is Baid, but being held in by Dubai Honour at the moment. Adair might have got first run on Baybridge and My Prospero. Baid is out after them. Jim Crowley's having to push him along. They race inside the final two. Adair from Baybridge on the far side. Baid down the outside is beginning to close now as they race up the hill inside the final fill, and My Prospero battling on. Baybridge and Adair. Out wide is Baid. He needs to find more. My Prospero battling as well. It's Baybridge fending off Adair. Baybridge from Adair, and Baybridge has won the champion. Tight second between Adair and on the outside My Prospero, and Baid is beaten. He finished fourth. The first taste of defeat for Baid on his final start, and as the world looked the other way, Sir Micheal Stoute stole the show once again. Baybridge has won the Kipco British Champion Stakes. Another huge day for the veteran Stoute. Another massive day in the saddle for his Derby winning accomplice, Richard Kingscote. And this horse, who looked so exciting at the beginning of the season at Sandown, but was somewhat forgotten about thereafter, has bloomed when it mattered most. He has beaten Adair and My Prospero in the Kipco British Champion Stakes. Baid scythed his way through the pack, inside to out, turning for home. But the response, unusually, uncharacteristically, on this softest ground that he faced, was for once, but for the most important time, all too minimal. Not to be for Baid. There will be long faces aplenty, but no long faces at Freemason Lodge, where the Sir Micheal Stoute team will be delighted with what they have accomplished here with a horse of great talent. Baybridge is a worthy Group 1 winner, but he will, sadly for him, not take the lion's share of the headlines in a dramatic Kipco Champion Stakes, Martin Dixon.
No, he won't, but let's start with him because he's put up a career best performance. They've got him on point after a couple of disappointing performances in the summer. We expected this for him from Baybridge once he came back in the spring and he won the Brigadier Gerard 5 lengths, and he looked like a Group 1, bona fide Group 1 horse in making at that point in time. It didn't happen for him in the summer, but credit to Sir Micheal Stoute and all of the team there in that yard that have got him back to this level and even surpassing his previous levels. Of course, Baid hasn't run up to his best. He wasn't in the same form as the Juddmonte. You have to look at the ground conditions, I think, as a worthy excuse for an underperformance on his part.
He went through the race quite beautifully, Baid. An interesting part of the early exchanges was the extent to which jockeys were keen to get away from the chopped up ground on the rail, and as such that rather helped Baid, because horses unusually at Ascot fanned out, so there was plenty of room to bob and weave through the field, and the move that he made on the reverse angle as they turned for home, you thought, well, he'll just glide by them now.
There were no excuses in terms of how the race developed, in my opinion. He's come from a hold-up position, yes, he's had to come from further back than Bairbridge and My Prospero and Adiyar, but he gets onto the heels of them very, very easily. Sweeping move, showing his speed as they turn into the straight. At that point there, now, where Crowley asks him for an effort, you expect him to pick up. Within 100 yards, you know that he's not going to. And he's very one-paced, isn't he, under different conditions, more testing conditions than he's faced before. Bairbridge at the front has to work for it. Adiyar, strong stayer, we know. He's run a huge race, by the way, just his second start of the season after not an ideal preparation coming back into Group 1 company. But he's put it up to Bairbridge. Bairbridge has had to be really determined as well, but he's kept on sticking his neck out and finding a bit more. Big effort from My Prospero in the places as well.
Yes, William Haggis will have every reason to feel proud of My Prospero. He's progressed well, but clearly that's not going to be uppermost on his mind now. Baaeed has, just for the once in his otherwise completely blemish-free career, not delivered. But I guess part of the reason why it's going to disappoint so many people is that so much appeared to rest on today, so much had been given today, so much significance had been placed on it. This was the legacy play, this was the go out with a bang, the last hurrah. This is what you're going to be remembered for.
Yeah, I think time will tell that he'll be remembered for more.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The Judmont itself was good enough, in my opinion, to showcase his talent, and that talent isn't in doubt just because he's been beaten this afternoon, and it shouldn't be in doubt. That was an outstanding performance at York, and it can't be taken away, and it won't be taken away from him.
Richard Kingscote has been granted opportunities by Sir Micheal Stoute this season on two of this sport's biggest days and the two biggest days of racing in Great Britain, Derby Day and British Champions Day, and he's produced a flawless performance on each occasion. Babe takes in the colours of James Wigan, colours that were carried by Ryan Moore to Breeders' Cup victory on Dank. This horse by New Bay, big, powerful horse who's only really begun to fill his frame as a 5-year-old. And he really is a 4-year-old, I should say, and he really is a classic Stout project, isn't he?
He really is. He's well, he went down the handicap route starting out as a 3-year-old. Whizzed in a couple of 3-year-old handicaps last season, and then, like I say, the Brigadier Gerard, we thought he had this in the locker, didn't we? We felt like he was a bona fide Group 1 horse, even just coming back and winning a Group 3 at the start of the season, and he just didn't, for whatever reason. Maybe the ground was a bit too quick for him in the summer, I don't know, but these are his conditions, and this was him at his best.
So you just saw a shot there of James Wigan, the taller gentleman with the grey hair. He was talking to John O'Connor from Ballylynch Stud, who's had another fine sales season, and John stands New Bay, and doubtless that'll be where this fella's booked.
What a moment for Richard Kingscote as well, and what a season for him, obviously taking out the Derby and now the Champion Stakes. He's kind of stepped into big shoes there, hasn't he, at Sir Micheal Stoute's, and taken every opportunity that he's been given.
Fine, big, powerful horse with a clear liking for cutting the ground. He's got his conditions today, conditions that really played to his strengths.
I get the impression he might stay a bit further as well. I mean, he's had to really dig deep there, and Adiyar, we know, Derby winner, King George winner, snapping at his heels with every chance from the 2-pole, and he's just had to keep going, hasn't he? And I think 1.5 miles could potentially be within his reach.
And now, as Sir Micheal Stoute receives congratulations, William Haggis walks back to the weighing room, surrounded by rather more members of the press than are surrounding Sir Micheal Stoute at the moment, and he's having to bear that with the good nature and good grace as he's answered every question during the course of the season. But he can reflect on a job extremely well done for a huge part of Baaeed's career. But it'll be a long drive home, I've no doubt, particularly as dreams of the Trainers' Championship, the first Trainers' Championship, may well have.
It's a tough one to take in for William Haggis, no doubt it will be, but he's going to look back with pride at what's been achieved with Baaeed up to this point of his career.
There was only one Frankel. There was only one Frankel. Baaeed is defeated in the Kipco British Champion Stakes, but Bay Bridge has once again demonstrated the sublime talents of Sir Micheal Stoute, and the unheralded Richard Kingscote comes to the fore again, as he did at Epsom on Derby Day. Well done to all concerned. Well done to you, most importantly, if you kept the faith and you supported Bay Bridge today. If you did, you were rewarded at these odds.
Kipco Champion Stakes winner Bay Bridge for Sir Micheal Stoute and Richard Kingscote 10-1, Alliar 6-1, and my Prospero 22-1 in third. Quick reaction, Dave.
Well, it was a terrific performance. A horse that has always had a performance like this in him, but perhaps not with a horse like Baaeed in the field.
Yes.
As Nick has just said, there's more people surrounding the trainer of a horse that was out of the frame than there is a horse that's just landed one of the biggest Group 1s of the season. Well done to Richard Kingscote. I can only echo what everyone thought. I mean, conditions were right for him. He's obviously on form, but we're all slightly aghast about the next wonder horse, and an absolutely fantastic horse. But unfortunately, he's just lost the argument in the debate. Well, closed the argument in the debate with Frankel. But there was no real need for him to run again after York. He'd proven he was going to. So even though the debate about the art, William Haggas soon quashed that one. He was